We navigate a world brimming with information, often priding ourselves on our intellect and understanding. Yet, there's a subtle, profound error, a huge mistake that even the sharpest minds among us can make. It's not about a lack of intelligence, but something far more insidious, a blind spot that can derail our best intentions and cloud our judgment. This mistake has echoed through centuries, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look deeper. You might be thinking, I'm smart, I analyze things, I don't make huge mistakes easily. And that very confidence, that assurance in our own knowledge, can sometimes be the fertile ground where this error takes root. It's a paradox. Our strengths, when unexamined, can lead us astray. Imagine a grand, sturdy ship, seemingly unsinkable, yet unaware of a tiny, persistent leak hidden below the waterline. This isn't about complex equations or obscure facts. It's about the very foundation of how we perceive and interact with reality. This mistake whispers to us in moments of certainty, convinces us we have the full picture when we might only possess a single, perhaps distorted piece. It's a trap of comfortable conclusions, one that can limit our growth and understanding far more than any external obstacle. To understand this profound error, we turn to an ancient sage, a man whose wisdom has illuminated minds for millennia, Socrates. He walked the bustling marketplaces of Athens not as a lecturer, but as a humble seeker of truth, engaging in dialogues that peeled back layers of assumption. His life offers us a timeless lens through which we can examine ourselves. Socrates wasn't known for providing easy answers. Instead, he was a master of questions, questions designed to reveal the often unacknowledged gaps in our understanding. He famously declared that his wisdom lay in one thing: I know that I know nothing. This wasn't false modesty. It was the cornerstone of a revolutionary approach to knowledge and self-awareness. So what is this huge mistake even smart people make, according to the Socratic perspective? It is the uncritical assumption of knowledge. It's believing we fully understand something when, in reality, our comprehension is incomplete, biased, or even entirely wrong. It's the failure to examine the foundations of our own beliefs. Think of a cup that is already full. You can pour all the wisdom of the world onto it, but nothing more will enter. The assumption of knowledge makes our minds like that full cup, closed off to new insights, new perspectives, and deeper truths. We hear, but we don't truly listen. We see, but we don't truly perceive. Smart people, ironically, can be particularly susceptible. Past successes can breed overconfidence. A sharp intellect can quickly construct convincing arguments, even for flawed premises. The comfort of feeling right can outweigh the often uncomfortable process of questioning what we hold to be true. We build intellectual fortresses, not realizing we might be walling ourselves in. This isn't to say that knowledge itself is the problem. Acquired knowledge is valuable. The mistake lies in the assumption of its completeness or its infallibility. It's when I know becomes a full stop, rather than a comma leading to what else can I learn? Or how can I verify this? This is where wisdom diverges from mere intelligence. Socrates believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. This examination isn't just about our actions, but crucially about our thoughts, our beliefs, our ingrained assumptions. What do you believe to be absolutely true? And more importantly, why do you believe it? Have you ever truly challenged those core beliefs? The illusion of knowledge is seductive. It offers a sense of control and certainty in a complex world, but it's a fragile foundation. When our unexamined beliefs clash with reality, the result can be frustration, confusion, and poor decisions. We blame external factors, rarely suspecting the flaw in our own internal map of the world. Consider how often we enter discussions not to understand, but to assert our viewpoint, to win the argument. This is a symptom of assumed knowledge. We are so busy defending our existing castle of beliefs that we fail to see the treasures outside its walls, the different perspectives that could enrich our understanding. Socrates would often engage the most respected experts of his day. Through careful questioning, He would gently reveal that their supposed expertise often rested on unproven assumptions or contradictions. His goal wasn't to humiliate, but to awaken them and others to the possibility of deeper inquiry. The fear of appearing ignorant can be a powerful barrier. Society often rewards displays of certainty, but Socrates teaches us that admitting, "I don't know," is not a sign of weakness, but the very first step towards genuine wisdom. It is an act of intellectual courage, an opening for true learning to begin. Why is this mistake so huge? Because it underpins so many other errors in judgment. If our foundational beliefs are flawed, then everything we build upon them, our decisions, our plans, our relationships, will be inherently unstable. It's like navigating with a faulty compass. The further we travel, the more lost we become. Think about a major project that failed, a relationship that soured, or a societal problem that seems intractable. How many of these issues at their core stem from unexamined assumptions? From someone or many being absolutely sure they were right, without ever truly questioning if they were. The beauty of the Socratic approach is its simplicity. It doesn't require advanced degrees or esoteric knowledge. It requires honesty, curiosity, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. It's about asking, what if I'm wrong? What if there's another way to see this? This process of self-examination can feel like tilling hard, compacted soil. It's effortful at first. Our egos may resist, but just as tilled soil becomes fertile ground for seeds, an examined mind becomes fertile ground for wisdom, creativity, and genuine connection. The opposite of assumed knowledge isn't ignorance, but intellectual humility. It's the understanding that the universe of what we don't know is infinitely vaster than the island of what we do. This humility doesn't paralyze, it energizes, fueling a lifelong quest for deeper understanding. Socrates himself wrote nothing down. His legacy lives through the dialogues recorded by his students, like Plato. This perhaps underscores his philosophy. Wisdom isn't a static text, but a living, breathing process of inquiry passed from one seeking mind to another. Let's consider how this mistake manifests in our daily lives. In disagreements with loved ones, do we listen to understand their perspective, or simply to find flaws in their argument and reassert our own? That urge to be right often stems from an unexamined belief that our view is the only valid one. In our careers, do we cling to old methods simply because that's how it's always been done? Or are we open to questioning if those methods are still the most effective? The assumption that past strategies guarantee future success is a common pitfall for smart, experienced individuals. Even in our personal growth journeys, we can fall into this trap. We might read a book or attend a workshop and believe we now know the path, mistaking intellectual comprehension for embodied wisdom. True growth requires ongoing application, reflection, and a willingness to adapt. The Socratic method at its heart is a tool for deconstruction, breaking down complex beliefs into their simplest components and examining each one for its truth. Why do I believe this? What evidence supports it? What are the counterarguments? What assumptions am I making? This isn't about becoming endlessly skeptical or indecisive. It's about cultivating a discerning mind, one that can hold beliefs lightly, test them rigorously, and update them gracefully when new evidence or better understanding emerges. It's about intellectual flexibility and strength. One practical way to start is to actively seek out perspectives that differ from your own. Read authors you disagree with. Listen, truly listen, to people with different life experiences. The goal isn't necessarily to change your mind, but to understand why others believe what they do and to see the potential blind spots in your own view. Another practice is to play the devil's advocate with your own strongest convictions. Try to argue passionately for the opposing viewpoint. This exercise can illuminate weaknesses in your own arguments or reveal unexamined assumptions you weren't even aware you held. It builds intellectual empathy. Consider the phrase, "I could be wrong." How often do you genuinely entertain that possibility, especially when you feel certain? Smart people often build strong cases for their beliefs. The Socratic challenge is to build an equally strong case for why those beliefs might be incomplete or incorrect. The benefit of overcoming this mistake of assumed knowledge is immense. It leads to deeper learning as your mind becomes truly open. It fosters better decision-making as you're operating with a clearer, more comprehensive picture of reality. You become less reactive and more responsive. It strengthens relationships. When you approach others with genuine curiosity rather than assumed understanding, you create space for authentic connection. People feel heard and valued, not judged or dismissed. Misunderstandings lessen and empathy grows. Ultimately, embracing Socratic humility leads to profound personal growth. It transforms you from someone who thinks they know to someone who is always learning to know. This continuous unfolding is the very essence of wisdom. It is a journey, not a destination. Imagine the collective impact if more of us, especially those in positions of influence, embraced this principle. Fewer dogmatic conflicts, more innovative solutions, a greater willingness to collaborate and learn from diverse perspectives. The world would look very different. So the antidote to this huge mistake is not more information, but a different way of relating to information and to ourselves. It's the cultivation of an inquisitive, humble, and courageous mind. A mind willing to say, "Tell me more," rather than, "Let me tell you." This isn't about self-doubt in a crippling sense. It's about healthy skepticism directed inwards. Confidence is good, but confidence rooted in thoroughly examined beliefs is far more powerful and resilient than confidence based on assumption. One simple daily practice. At the end of each day, reflect on one belief you held or one assumption you made. Ask yourself, what if the opposite were true? What evidence supports or refutes my position? This small habit can yield significant shifts over time. When faced with a problem, especially a complex one, resist the urge for an immediate solution. Instead, spend more time defining the problem from multiple angles, questioning the initial framing. Are we even asking the right question here? Socrates would often start by defining terms. Notice your emotional reactions during discussions. If you feel defensive or angry when your ideas are challenged, it might be a sign that your ego is tied to being right, rather than to discovering what is right. This is a flag for unexamined assumptions. Embrace the joy of discovery that comes from admitting you don't know. Each "I don't know" is an invitation to learn, an adventure waiting to happen. It shifts learning from a chore to an exciting exploration of the vast landscape of knowledge. Remember, even Socrates, one of history's wisest figures, claimed his only wisdom was knowing his own ignorance. This wasn't a limitation, but his greatest strength, the engine of his relentless inquiry and profound impact. It allowed him to remain open, curious, and ever learning. This mistake, the assumption of knowledge, is not a sign of low intelligence. It's a human tendency, amplified perhaps in those who are used to being right. Recognizing it is the first, most crucial step towards transcending it and unlocking a deeper, more authentic wisdom. Consider the realm of innovation. True breakthroughs rarely come from tweaking existing certainties. They emerge when someone dares to question a fundamental assumption that everyone else takes for granted. What if gravity worked differently? What if this disease isn't caused by what we think? In leadership, the wisest leaders are often those who listen more than they speak, who ask probing questions, and who empower their teams to challenge prevailing ideas. They understand that collective intelligence, born from diverse and questioned perspectives, is far superior to a singular, unexamined vision. The digital age, with its echo chambers and filter bubbles, can exacerbate this mistake. We are algorithmically fed information that confirms our existing biases, making it harder to encounter challenging viewpoints unless we actively seek them. The Socratic imperative is more vital than ever. Ask yourself, what truths do I hold that are based on tradition, authority, or popular opinion, rather than personal, critical examination? Many of our deepest beliefs are inherited, not chosen. The Socratic path involves auditing these inherited truths. The practice of mindfulness can be a powerful ally here. By observing our thoughts without judgment, we can begin to see the assumptions embedded within them. We create a space between stimulus and response, a space where Socratic questioning can occur. When you learn something new, resist the immediate urge to categorize it or fit it into your existing framework. Instead, sit with it. Explore its nuances. Ask, how does this challenge what I thought I knew? What new questions does this raise? The beauty of this Socratic journey is that it's endlessly fascinating. The more you question, the more you realize there is to learn. The world and your own mind become places of infinite discovery rather than fixed, known territories. It cultivates a childlike wonder. This huge mistake isn't a personal failing to be ashamed of, but rather a universal human tendency to be aware of. It's a call to vigilance, to conscious awareness in our thinking. Smart people don't avoid it by intelligence alone, but by cultivating specific habits of mind. So the challenge Socrates lays before us is not to accumulate more facts, but to become better thinkers, to prioritize the process of inquiry over the possession of answers, to find comfort in questions and growth in the admission of not knowing. The core philosophical message, then, is this: true wisdom begins not with the assertion of knowledge, but with the humble recognition of its limits. The greatest impediment to learning and good judgment is the unexamined assumption that we already understand. Imagine the relief of letting go of the need to always be right, to always have the answer. There's a profound freedom in that. It opens up space for genuine curiosity, for deeper connections, and for the continuous, joyful expansion of your understanding. When you next find yourself in a moment of absolute certainty, especially about something complex or contested, pause. Ask yourself that Socratic question: how do I truly know this? What if I'm missing something? This pause is where wisdom can enter. This isn't about negating your intelligence or your experience. It's about adding a crucial layer of self-awareness and intellectual humility to it. Your intelligence becomes even more powerful when guided by a Socratic spirit of inquiry. The unexamined assumption is like an invisible chain. It tethers you to a fixed point, limiting your perspective and your potential for movement. Socratic questioning is the key that can unlock that chain, allowing you to explore vast new territories of thought. Think of knowledge not as a static monument to be revered, but as a flowing river, constantly changing, constantly inviting you to immerse yourself in its currents, to explore its depths, and to follow its course into unknown landscapes. The courage to question your own foundations is perhaps the highest form of intellectual bravery. It requires stepping away from the comfort of the known and venturing into the often unsettling territory of "I'm not sure." But it is in this territory that true breakthroughs occur. Every conversation becomes an opportunity not to preach, but to learn. Every challenge to your beliefs becomes a gift, a chance to refine your understanding or discover a new facet of truth. The world transforms from a stage for your certainty into a classroom for your growth. This Socratic wisdom isn't just for philosophers. It's for anyone who seeks to live a more conscious, effective, and fulfilling life. It's a practical tool for navigating complexity, for fostering understanding, and for unlocking your own deepest potential for wisdom. The huge mistake of unexamined assumptions is subtle precisely because our intelligence can so adeptly defend them. It takes a conscious commitment to the Socratic path, a daily practice of humble inquiry, to keep our minds open and our understanding growing. So we are left not with a new set of answers, but with a more powerful way of seeking them. The legacy of Socrates is not a doctrine, but an invitation to question, to examine, to know thyself, and in doing so, to continuously become wiser. Consider what beliefs you hold about yourself. I am good at X. I am bad at Y. How deeply have you examined these self-definitions? Are they truly accurate, or are they unexamined stories you've told yourself, limiting your potential or creating false confidence? When you feel stuck on a problem, try listing all your assumptions about it. Every single one, no matter how obvious it seems. Then, one by one, ask, what if this assumption isn't true? This can often reveal entirely new pathways to a solution. The pursuit of wisdom in the Socratic sense is not about becoming an encyclopedia. It's about becoming a master of your own mind, skilled in the art of inquiry, comfortable with ambiguity, and always ready to learn from anyone, anything, anytime. This journey of self-examination is lifelong. There is no graduation day from the school of Socratic wisdom. Each day offers fresh opportunities to question, to learn, and to refine our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It is a continuous unfolding. By acknowledging the possibility of this huge mistake in ourselves, we empower ourselves to avoid it. We shift from unconscious certainty to conscious inquiry. This is not just an intellectual exercise. It's a profound shift in how we engage with life itself. So the path forward, illuminated by Socrates, is clear. Embrace intellectual humility. Cultivate relentless curiosity. Dare to question your deepest certainties. For in that questioning lies the key not just to avoiding error, but to unlocking a richer, wiser, and more authentic existence. The smartness that helps us navigate the world can become a gilded cage if it prevents us from seeing beyond our current understanding. The Socratic key is to use that intelligence not just to build our castles of belief, but to constantly check their foundations. This core message, that unexamined certainty is a profound mistake, is simple, yet its implications are vast. It touches every decision we make, every interaction we have, every belief we hold. It is a call to a more awake and engaged way of being. As you move forward from this moment, carry with you not a new dogma, but a new question. What assumptions am I living by today, and are they truly serving my highest understanding and purpose? Let this question be your companion. The journey inspired by Socrates is one of continuous discovery. The mistake of assumed knowledge can be overcome, not by genius, but by the humble, persistent practice of asking why. And how do I know? May your path be illuminated by this timeless wisdom.